Swadika, and thank you for joining us for the morning edition of NBT World Brief. I'm Tra Tirakausan. Chinese New Year worship ceremonies are being held across Thailand's provinces, with Thai Chinese families gathering at shrines and homes to pray for prosperity and good fortune. In Khon Kaen, large crowds gathered at the city pillar shrine dressed in red, a color symbolizing luck, bringing food, fruit, and ceremonial offerings to pay respect to deities and ancestors. Municipal officials facilitated traffic and safety while urging worshippers to carefully put out incense sticks and burning paper after rituals. In Phuket, families set up offering tables filled with auspicious dishes and sweets, continuing long-held traditions that reflect gratitude to ancestors and prayers for happiness and success in the year ahead. At the Jui Tui Shrine, worshippers paid respect to sacred figures throughout the day, lighting incense, offering oil to lanterns, and performing traditional rites for good fortune. Meanwhile, in Hat Yai, Songkhla, Thai Chinese residents and tourists from Malaysia and Singapore visited local foundations and shrines from early morning, praying for prosperity in business and family life. Homes and shops were also decorated with elaborate offering tables, with rituals observed in stages, first paying homage to deities, followed by ancestral rites. In Trat province, residents gathered at the city pillar shrine with offerings of food and fruit, asking for success in trade, good health, and stability for their families. Despite the festive and spiritual atmosphere, officials nationwide continue to stress fire safety, reminding the public to remain vigilant when burning incense and ceremonial paper. A new survey shows most Thais are changing their Lunar New Year traditions to help curb air pollution, with 65% avoiding incense and paper burning to reduce PM 2.5 levels. A poll conducted during the Lunar New Year period by the Department of Health found that a majority of respondents are taking steps to protect their health amid seasonal smog. The survey gathered responses from 1,044 participants on their festival activities, food purchasing behavior, and PM 2.5 prevention measures, and showed that about 65% said they avoided lighting incense or burning joss paper, 61% wore protective face masks, and 60% cleaned their homes to reduce dust accumulation. While some respondents still engage in dust-generating activities, including lighting incense or candles, burning joss paper, and setting off firecrackers. The poll also found that 51% plan to shop for offerings on shopping day, while 49% intended to perform traditional worship rites. About 31% said they had no plans to take part in such activities, reflecting increasingly diverse lifestyles in Thai society. The Department of Health urged the public to adjust their behavior during the festival by limiting dust-generating activities, adopting health and environment-friendly rituals, closely monitoring air quality updates, and strictly following public health advice, especially to protect vulnerable groups. Thailand's economic growth is expected to reach around 2% in 2026 after the National Economic and Social Development Council revised its forecast upward to a range of 1.5 to 2.5%. The improved outlook is supported by continued expansion in private consumption and investment, increased government spending, a recovery in tourism, and favorable water conditions for the agricultural sector. The revision follows stronger than expected performance in 2025, when the economy expanded 2.4% for the full year. Fourth quarter GDP grew 2.5%, helping lift annual growth above earlier projections.
แต่สิ่งที่ทำให้เศรษฐกิจไทยขยายตัวได้เกินกว่าที่คาดไว้เนี่ยก็จะเป็นเรื่องของการลงทุนของภาคเอกชนแล้วก็ภาครัฐนะครับโดยเฉพาะเรื่องของการก่อสร้างนะครับที่เกิดขึ้นนะฮะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยก็คนละครึ่งก็เป็นส่วนหนึ่งเท่านั้นนะครับแต่ว่า มาตรการที่ภาครัฐออกไปในแง่ของการเร่งรัดการเบิกจ่ายลงทุนมาตรการที่ออกไปในแง่ของการอำนวยความสะดวกให้กับภาคเอกชนในการลงทุนต่างๆเนี่ยมันก็ทำให้เศรษฐกิจไทยในไตรมาส 4เนี่ยสามารถขยายตัวเร่งขึ้นมาที่ 2.5% ครับก็ทำให้ทั้งปีเนี่ยขยายตัวได้ 2.4 ครับผม
NESDC also reported that private consumption rose 3.3% last year, while overall investment expanded by more than 8%. For 2026, private consumption is projected to grow 2.1%, private investment 1.9%, and exports 2%. Inflation is expected to remain subdued, averaging between minus 0.3 and 0.7%. However, authorities caution that risks remain from the global economic and trade volatility, high household debt, and limited access to credit for small and medium-sized enterprises. Authorities are warning that online scammers are changing tactics, targeting fewer victims but extracting much larger sums per case. According to the Anti-Online Scam Center, or ACSC, between February 8th and the 14th, there were 7,290 online scam complaints filed through Thai police online. Total damage exceeded 481 million baht, an increase of 52 million baht from the previous week, despite 555 fewer cases. The average loss per case has risen to more than 66,000 baht, up significantly from the previous week. Officials say this suggests that scammers are shifting their strategy, focusing on single victims and convincing them to transfer large sums at once. The most common type of case remains online shopping fraud, accounting for more than 70% of complaints. However, in terms of financial damage, phone-based extortion, often linked to call center gangs, now ranks highest, indicating heavier losses per victim. Job offer scams and fraudulent investment schemes also remain major threats. Now, data shows that women are frequently targeted more than men. Those aged 31 to 40 are most often deceived in online shopping scams, while people aged 41 to 50 are more vulnerable to job-related transfer fraud. And of particular concern, young adults aged 18 to 25 rank highest among victims of phone extortion scams. Officials are urging the public to verify information carefully and avoid transferring money under pressure or fear. The Ministry of Culture has launched a new faith-based tourism initiative to promote the NORA Master Cultural Route and transform local heritage into sustainable community income. The journey began at Wat Phra Boromathate Jedi Khien Bangkeo in Phathalung, regarded as the spiritual birthplace of the NORA tradition. The program is part of a broader effort to promote cultural beliefs as an economic driver across Phathalung, Songkhla, and Pattani. The visit opened with a NORA performance by local youth, reflecting the living legacy of Southern performing arts. Visitors will learn about the temple's history as a key spiritual landmark of Phathalung and the legendary origin of the NORA masters. Now, inside the temple stands the revered Boromathate Jedi, believed to have been built more than 5 centuries ago to enshrine sacred relics. A highlight of the visit was a merit-making ritual where participants wrote their names and wishes before joining a ceremonial cloth procession to wrap the pagoda for good fortune. NORA was recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2021, underscoring its cultural significance. The 3-day cultural route will continue across southern provinces with the goal of developing a new tourism pathway that connects faith, identity, and local wisdom to long-term economic growth. And that wraps up our morning news report. Stay updated with the latest developments and more stories. Simply scan the QR code on your screen to access our full coverage across all media platforms. Until next time, สวัสดีค่ะ